the rules. It says that the third parties have to play by them, leaving it to the treasury to effectively come up with them, right? It's like a blank canvas,
Mhm.
which adds a certain element of uncertainty for sure. Now let's look at an example, right? A bit like knowing that there are changes to the rugby rules about the referees using, let's say, television match officials for yellow cards, but then they're not specifying what the changes exactly are. So you know the top line change, but they're not specifying what the changes exactly are until the season has started effectively.
Mhm.
So, but one place we can look is the discussion paper at DP 322, which was published before the bill went into place, and that does highlight potentially where we can expect these rules to come from, although from a 50,000-foot view at this point. But the firms will be expected to meet certain minimum resilience standards. They'll have to run resilience tests, participate in sector-wide exercises. We can safely assume at this point that this will be built on the existing operational resilience framework that financial services entities have to follow.
Okay, so just was just understanding that a little bit in what that means in practice. So first off, the CTPs, once they're designated, they'll need to demonstrate that they meet those minimum resilience standards by providing details of self-assessments and then participating in different resilience tests and perhaps kind of sector-wide exercises. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly that. And from what we can see in the discussion paper as well, right? It's most likely that the scenario testing is going to be the most frequently used testing tool. Scenarios can be anything ranging from malicious insiders to scenarios of physical effects of climate change. Scenarios that are taken will usually be quite severe yet plausible
Mm.
instances. So yeah, we have some ideas from the discussion paper at this point in terms of how it's going to be outlined. I mean, absolutely right. And if we think about it, some of these firms are so large and integrated into the global financial services network itself that a catastrophic disruption at a third party could impact the entire global network and doesn't necessarily have to be limited just to the UK as well, right? And one thing that some of the firms have called out as well is the fragmented regulatory expectations and supervisory practices across these different geographies, right? That can be detrimental to operational resilience, and it can also have an impact on increasing their compliance costs.
Mm.
I would start with the first question, that is, when are we going to start seeing the CTPs being designated? Is it soon? Is it going to be in the second half of the next year?
So, long answer short, we're not sure just yet. But the first signs will essentially be when we start seeing data requests from the regulator that are going to be focused on firms that could be potentially designated as CTPs across the industry. So there's the material suppliers that currently exist within the financial services space, suppliers where operational continuity or OCI or operational continuity and resolution. Now, where these kind of things are really important, that's where you start seeing the questions coming through, because what the regulators are going to do is they're going to collect the data, and that data is what's going to be fed to the treasury to then take the decision in terms of which firms need to be designated as CTPs. So yeah, I mean, it's that's going to be the first signs, the data requests that are coming from regulators.
These regulators going to be the ones who are working just in UK geography, or they will be based out of Europe as well and still have some affiliation with UK? How is it going to be?
So as of now, it's just going to be from the UK based regulators that they're going to be that are going to be asking questions to UK financial institutions.
Right. So as long as your vendor is outside UK jurisdiction but have a work in UK, it's fine. Are they free of reins as per the new
So
charter?
the location of the supplier is, or the vendors are not going to be a factor that's going to be taken into consideration. The focus is just, yeah. So if you're a UK based financial institution, doesn't matter where the supplier is located, yeah, they can ask questions about any of the suppliers in your network.